So hello everyone. In the previous class we have discussed about the different types of intake structures and aeration, objectives of aeration, different types of aerators, and the next part is related to the theory of aeration. Okay, so which is called as two-film theory. Okay, so which is there as per your syllabus. So before that, let us see what is the process of aeration, how it takes place. Okay, so before going to the two-film theory, there is some information related to the gas transfer. It was proposed by the Henry's law. Okay, so here according to this Henry's law, the mass transfer will takes place because of the diffusion. Okay, so if it is a gas phase and liquid phase, here the aeration has to happen between these two phases. That is, these are two different phases, one is gaseous phase and one other is liquid phase. Okay, so here the gas transfer to the liquid phase is happened due to the process of absorption. The liquid phase will try to absorb the gas, and similarly the gas transfer to the gas phase will happen due to the stripping or due to the volatilization process. And in between these two layers there is a layer, and that layer we call it as the diffusion layer. Okay, and there could be some the concentration gradient across this this layer, so which is explained by in this slide here. This is the interface between solid and liquid, and this is the bulk fluid, and here we have the velocity profile which is shown here. Okay, so according to that, a simple conceptualization of gas, it was actually developed by the Nernst. It is also called as Nernst equation in the year 1904, and further it was more developed in the coming days. So here according to this theory, near the interface there exists a hypothetical thin film. Okay, so according to the Nernst theory, so in between the air and liquid phase, so there will be a very stagnant thin film, so that is called as the interface between these two phases. In this film the bulk liquid is not moving, so therefore transport is governed essentially by molecular diffusion. Okay, so the bulk liquid will not directly flow because of the thin film, so thereby the diffusion will takes place, and this is the thickness of the standard film, so expressed by delta n. So therefore by taking into account of this diffusion, so the fixed law of diffusion can be applied for this. So according to that, J is called as the flux. So the flux of this area, the flux is given by minus d into dc by dx. Okay, so that is again is equal to minus d into cb minus ci divided by delta n, where cb and ci are concentrations in the bulk and at the interface respectively. So this cb is the concentration of the bulk fluid, okay, and ci is the concentration at the interface. If you differentiate cb and ci and divide it by the thickness, then we will get the flux as per the fixed law of diffusion with a negative concentration gradient expressed by the negative sign. So two film theory is the development of the Henry's law or Nernst law. Okay, according to that two film theory, so there is not a single interface which is existing between the solid and between the liquid and gas interface. So there will be two stagnant layer of the thicknesses. So that two layer consists of one layer consists of the gas concentration and one layer of thickness with respect to the liquid concentration. So according to this two film theory, when the mass transfer is in the x direction from the gas phase to liquid phase, there must be concentration gradient in the direction of mass transfer within each phase. Okay, the bulk gas concentration Cg falls to the Cgi at the interface. In the liquid phase, the concentration falls from CLi at the interface to Ci in the main body of the liquid. Okay, Cgi and CLi are at equilibrium. Cg and Ci are clearly not the equilibrium values, since otherwise the mass transfer would not occur. So here, according to the two film theory, so we have, this is the main interface and this is the gas interface and this is the liquid interface. So the gas interface is at the interface is given by Cgi, and this is the bulk gas interface, and here this is C1 is the bulk liquid interface and Ci Li is the liquid interface at the liquid film. Okay, so here the mass transfer will occur from the gaseous phase to the liquid phase by the process of diffusion. So okay, so and this gives the concentration gradients, and the diffusion happens in this region which is not at the equilibrium, whereas these Ci and Cg will be at the equilibrium. Okay, and this will give the more realistic gradients from the gas phase to the interface. So here there will be a gradient, and because of this diffusion the exchange process takes place, and so this clearly explains that according to two film theory. So the two thin layers, one is of gas film layer and liquid film layer with a intermediate interface, will be existed according to this two film theory. So the flux equation is given by gas phase transport, because since there are two films, so it is given by Kg into Cg minus Cgi. Okay, so the liquid phase transport is given by J1 is equal to K1 into Cli minus Ci. Okay, so where K1 or Kg is equal to mass transfer coefficient for either the liquid or gas phase. Okay, so because since the process takes place in both ways, from the gas to liquid or liquid to the gas. Okay, so at steady state equations, which can be given by Cgi is equal to Hc into Cgi. So J is equal to Jg is equal to Ji. The difficulty is finding the interface concentrations, that is Cj or Cii, which cannot be measured directly. So we want to be able to relate flux to bulk air and water concentration. So therefore the overall mass concentrations are, mass transfer coefficients are defined. Okay, so the overall mass transfer coefficients is given by J is equal to Kg into Cg minus Cg star is equal to K1 into C1 star minus C1, where Kg is overall mass transfer coefficient based on gas phase concentration. Similarly, K1 is overall mass transfer coefficient based on liquid phase concentration. Considering these two films, the flux is defined using the and mass transfer coefficients can be obtained. So Cg is gas phase concentration, that would be in the equilibrium with the bulk liquid concentration, that is Cgi is equal to Hc into Ci, where Ci star is the liquid phase concentration, that would be in the equilibrium with the bulk gas concentration. Okay, so these are the overall mass transfer coefficients. So it is expressed here. So this is the equilibrium line. So this is Cg and this is Ci. This is at a point A, and this is Cg. Here the mass transfer occurs from the liquid phase to the gaseous phase. Similarly, from the gaseous phase to the liquid phase by these coefficients. So expand the liquid phase, then the overall liquid flux is given by J is equal to K1 into C1 minus Ci, that will be equal to K1 into C1 minus Cli plus Cli minus C1 into star. So therefore overall, by simplifying this, we will get it as 1 divided by K1 is equal to 1 by Kn plus 1 divided by Hc into Kg, in which 1 by K1 represents the overall resistance to mass transfer based on liquid phase concentration, and it is the sum of liquid film resistance and the gas film resistance. Okay, so by combining these two things, we can obtain the Similarly, for the liquid phase flux, it is given by 1 divided by kg is equal to 1 divided by kg plus hc divided by kl. That means the sum of the resistance offered by both the gas film and liquid film will give the flux. Okay, it is possible that one of the films exhibits relatively high resistance and therefore dominates the overall resistance to the transfer, and this depends on the relative magnitude of k1, kg and hc. Okay, so based on the gas transfer of certain different types of gases, here the example is taken for highly soluble gases such as ammonia and sulfur dioxide, the hc is low, so mass transfer is more controlled by the gas film resistance, that is 1 by k1 is less than or equal to 1 by hc into kg. So for that the k1 is approximately equal to hc into kg. However, for less soluble gases such as nitrogen and oxygen, the hc value is high. The mass transfer is controlled by the liquid film resistance, so that is 1 by kn is greater than or equal to 1 by hc into kg. So k1 is equal to KL, that is, so here the resistance is controlled by the liquid film resistance if the solubility of the gases is high. Similarly, if the solubility of the gases is high, then the mass transfer is converted by the gas film resistance. You can note the difference here. For the highly soluble gases, the mass transfer is controlled by the gas film resistance. For less soluble gases, the mass transfer is controlled by the liquid film. Okay, so that is the difference between the solubility coefficient and the flux. So similar to that, we have other theoretical models for interface mass transfer. So that is usually used in the various processes of water treatment and wastewater treatment, like distillation, absorption and air stripping and all. Okay, so we do a lot of process in the treatment of water, like ammonia stripping, gas stripping. Okay, and even in case of air pollution, cleaning equipment, that is removing the volatile organic compounds by gas stripping methods. And we also do a process called as absorption, and a distillation process is also done to remove some volatile impurities. So we can apply all these flux models to different theories. So the different processes in the treatment of water and wastewater. The theoretical model for the interface mass transfers are the film theory, it was given by Nernst, and penetration theory by Higby in the year 1935, surface renewal theory in 1951, film penetration theory, and boundary layer theory. Okay, so these are different theories, although these are not there in your syllabus, so you have to concentrate more on the two film theory, that is the Nernst theory. So where two phases exist with the intermediate layer, one is the gas film layer and liquid film layer, and the coefficient and other parameters are discussed in the previous slides. Okay, so this is the process which is explained here. In the process of aeration, the transfer of gas across a liquid interface can be accomplished by bubbles or by creating large surfaces or interfaces. So aeration or transfer of oxygen to water is a very common process in the treatment system. So here the bubble injection is a common method to accomplish this transfer. For this case of oxygen transfer to water, so consider each bubble to consist of completely mixed bulk gas phase. So inside the bubble plus a stagnant liquid film. Okay, so this is the bulk gas phase, so which is given by Cg, which we have discussed in the earlier slides, and at the outer phase we have the liquid film. Okay, so that is the bulk liquid phase, which is given by C1, and this is delta 1 is the thickness of the thin layer. Okay, so the stagnant air film may exist, but for oxygen transfer control is usually in the liquid film here. Okay, so depending upon the solubility of the gases, it can be controlled either by the liquid film or it can be controlled by the gaseous film. The rate of change of concentration in the liquid phase is given by dC L divided by dCd is given by Aj by V. So that will be equal to, if you simplify this, so the Cl and Cli star minus Cli, so that is given by Kli into Cli minus Ci. So where A is the total surface area of the bubbles, V is the volume of the liquid phase. Okay, so this is the handy engineering coefficient which can be used. It is a lumped parameter, so which also takes account of the bubble size through its effect on diffusion. So if you integrate it, then this equation is simplified into, so ln Cli minus Cti minus ln of Cli star minus Cti star divided by T1 minus T2. So Kla can be determined by experimental data by plotting a graph of ln Cli star minus Ct versus time, which will yield a straight line with a slope equal to minus Kl into A. Okay. So these are some of the factors which affects the Kla. The concentration of surfactants in the liquid phase. So this is of particular concern when we deal with the wastewater. So surfactants effects are often taken into account by Kla of wastewater is equal to Kla into clean water. So which the coefficient will be less than 0.2, and it is the alpha value less than 1. Okay, the Kla at the different temperature is given by Kla at constant at 20 degrees centigrade into 1.024 T to the power of minus 20. Okay, so factors which affect the Cla, the solubility of the gases is affected by the solid content. So that is Cla of wastewater is equal to beta into Cla of clean water, that is 0.85 is which is less than 1. So this it can be understood by a simple numerical problem depending upon the constant over here. And this is the example of diffused aeration system. In the diffused aeration system, air is pumped through some sort of diffusers which is placed at the bottom. So here you can see the fine air bubbles which will be blown by the diffuser. So this again depends on the mass transfer rate. So based on the quantity of water which is to be treated and the diffuser size, the size of the bubble and the air which is pumped through this process has to be carefully evaluated considering the equations what we have discussed, and the aeration has to be done accordingly so that all the volume of the water gets aerated effectively to achieve the objectives of aeration process. And this have wide applications even in the treatment of water and also in the treatment of wastewater processes. So this is a surface aeration where it is we have this blade, okay, and there will be an interface between the solid and liquid. This is the liquid phase and this is the air phase. At the interface, to increase the mass transfer, so the motor is fitted with this rotor blades and it is rotated at specific RPMs so as to increase the mass transfer between these two phases with respect to this the interface which is existing between these two layers. So there are many different types of aerators which exist in the market. So based on their effectiveness and their usability and their purposes, so the aeration process can be adopted and the right type of aerator can be selected. So there is a small numerical problem here. So we have to estimate the overall liquid size mass transfer coefficient. So that is the coefficients at 25 degrees centigrade for oxygen from water into air. For oxygen in the air, the diffusion coefficient is given by 0.2 centimeter square per second. For oxygen in water, the diffusion coefficient is 2.1 into 10 raised to minus 5 centimeters per second. The Henry's law constant is 769 liter atmosphere per mole. So using the two film theory and assume the film thickness is 0.01 centimeter for both gas and liquid phase. So which phase has more resistance for the overall mass transfer? So here a numerical problem is given. So we have to find out. So that we have discussed in the slides that according to two film theory there will be two different phases. One is liquid phase and one is gaseous phase. So as per this given conditions of this oxygen mass transfer and the diffusion given diffusion coefficients of oxygen in water, and in both the liquid and gaseous phases. So we have to find out so which phase is offering more resistance. We have discussed that. So as per this, the thickness of the layer which is given in the problem is 0.01 centimeter. So first we obtain K1, so that is given by D1 into thickness of the film. So D1 is given by the liquid phase coefficient, which is given as 2.1 into 10 raised to minus 5. So that there is the diffusion coefficient in the water, that is oxygen diffusion coefficient in the water. So that is with dividing it by the thickness of the film, which is given as 0.01 centimeter. So this works out to be, K1 works out to be 2.1 into 10 raised to minus 3 centimeter per second. Similarly, the coefficient for the gaseous phase is given by dg by dn. So where dg is the oxygen diffusion coefficient of the oxygen in the air, okay, that is the diffusion layer in the air. Okay, so for that it is given by dividing it by thickness of the film. So it is given by 0.23 divided by 0.01, so that will be equal to 23 centimeters per second. So the K1 is given by 1 divided by 1 upon K1 plus 1 divided by Hc into kg. So that will is given by 1 divided by, so 1 divided by here K1 is 2.1, okay, into 10 raised to minus 3, which we have obtained here. So plus 1 divided by, so Hc into kg. So here, so that is the diffusion coefficient obtained here, 23 into Hc is given as the that is the Henry's law constant, that is 769 liters per atmosphere per mole. So that is 769. So divided by kg, so it is 24.4. Okay, so if you simplify this, so it will be equal to 2.1 into 10 raised to minus 3 centimeters per second. Okay, so K1 is approximately equal to KL, that is mass transfer is controlled by the liquid film resistance. By comparing these two, so this is approximately equal to this K1 is KL. So hence here the mass transfer is controlled by the liquid film resistance. So hence by the different coefficients and knowing its values, that is the gas transfer rate and the liquid transfer rate, diffusion coefficients, we can obtain which liquid film or the air film is offering the more resistances. Similarly, so this is the problem here. So here the carbon dioxide gas is being scrubbed out of a gas using water flowing through a packed bed of 1 centimeter of burl saddles. So the carbon dioxide is absorbed at a rate of 2.3 into 10 raised to minus 6 mole per centimeter square second. The carbon dioxide is present at a partial pressure of 25 atmosphere. The Henry's law coefficient is 29 liters atmosphere per mole, and the diffusion coefficient of carbon dioxide in water is 1.9 into 10 raised to minus 5 centimeter square per second. So assuming mass transfer is controlled by liquid film resistance, find the film thickness. Here you have to find the delta n by using the given values. In the earlier slides we obtained the K1 coefficient values. So the C1 star is given by P divided by Hc, that is equal to 25 divided by 29. Okay, so 29 is the Henry's law coefficient, okay, so which is given by 0.86 mole per liter. So that is 0.00086 mole per centimeter cube. So K1 is approximately to K1, that is the flux divided by C1 star minus Cl. So that is approximately equal to 2.3 into 10 raised to minus 6, which is given here. The carbon dioxide, the absorption rate, so divided by the 0.0006 minus here Cl is 0. So it is given by 2.7 into 10 raised to minus 3 centimeters per second. So thickness can be obtained by dl by kl. So that is equal to 1.9 into 10 raised to minus 5. Okay, so the diffusion coefficient of carbon dioxide in the liquid phase, that is in the water, 1.9 into 10 raised to minus 5. So divided by the KL value which we have obtained here, so 2.10 into 10 raised to minus 3. So the thickness of the film is 0.007 centimeter. So we can obtain the thickness by using the diffusion coefficients, or if the diffusion coefficients is known with respect by using the flux relationships, we can obtain the coefficient value are the thickness of the film values. So similarly we have the problem number 3. The value of KIA for a certain industrial waste is 2.46 per hour at 20 degrees centigrade. What is the value of K1A at 25 degrees centigrade? So for different temperature, so what is the value of the constant KIA? So KIA at the 25 degrees centigrade is given by KIA at 20 degrees centigrade into 1.024 T minus 20. So this expression we have used in the earlier slides. So according to that, it is given as, so K1 at 20 degrees centigrade is given in the problem, that is 2.46 per hour at 20 degrees centigrade. So 2.46, so into 1.024, so 20 is the we have to estimate at 25 degrees centigrade. So the value of T is substituted as 25 degrees centigrade minus 20. So if you simplify this will work out as 2.77 per hour. This is the constant for this at a 25 degree centigrade. Okay, so this is the process and examples, and with respect to the two film theory, okay, with respect to the diffusion of air and water in the process of aeration. Okay, so two film theory is applied to many of the gas transfer phenomena including aeration. Okay, so like I told you in the previous slide, so aeration is a very important step in the process of treatment of water and also in the process of aerator. So more detailed investigations have to be done to estimate the air transfer in the process of aeration. So that will be basically dependent on the two film theories which we have discussed in the today's class. Okay, so once again you go through the expressions clearly so that you can understand more about the two film theory, and you can work out one or two simple problems based on the gas stripping and air transfer of oxygen to understand the diffusion coefficients clearly. So let us stop at this stage, and this completes your module 2. So in your module 2 we have discussed about the water quality, about the effects of water quality, BA standards of water quality, how to do the sampling, what are different types of sampling technique, what are the precautions which has to be taken during sampling, and about intake structures, the different types of intake structures based on the sources of water like lake intakes, river intakes, tune well type intakes, and finally about the aeration process, why aeration is done, objectives of aeration. So different types of aerator like diffused aeration, surface aeration, and the cascade type of aeration, its working, and finally the two film theory of diffusion in the process of aeration. So this completes module 2. So next we will go with the next process of water treatments, so which includes the sedimentation, coagulation, filtration, etc. Okay, and so I'll share the other reading materials with you. So let us stop at this stage.